inspired. I have been so inspired this morning, of course, by a conversation with a friend about work versus practice or practice versus work. I think they're one and the same, honestly. One just has one is more structured and harder feeling of a word, and the other one is a little bit more loose, more lenient. But they both do the same thing. So when you first start a job, you don't know it, and then you have to do it for a while, which is the practice of it, right? And then it just becomes easier and it becomes second nature. Same thing with all the little things that we do in life, starting from, being a baby to a full-blown adult and an elderly person. There are times and experiences and situations in life that we have never dealt with before. And then when it's brought to our door, we have the opportunity to work on it or put the practice into it to understand it better and make ourselves better. Which comes to skills. It develops skills. And skills are something that nobody can ever take away from you. That is something that you have in you for life. You can build on those skills. You can refine those skills. But that means you're putting in more practice. You're putting in more work. And I think that is beautiful. So the conversation with my friend today was about, where we're all at, like where we're at in our healing and in our creation and manifestation of life. And sometimes when you're trying so hard at something, that's when it becomes the heavier side of the tone, which is work. You're putting in a lot of work. You're putting in a lot of effort. And it can feel like it's overwhelming and that nothing's coming from it. But understanding that all this effort and energy that you're putting into this place is the practice. Life is a practice. Everything that we do is a practice. And what you are more drawn to, what resonates more with you, you will put a lot more effort and practice into. It's what I've been coming to find. So an example of that would be, I'm a mom. My friend's a mom, and we were talking this morning about the practice of being a mom and how we are noticing or have noticed how amazing we have been as mothers, especially when our children were little, and how much work and effort it took to do that. But there's this little piece, and maybe all mothers might be like this, or, it might resonate with you in some way, but there's this piece about perfection, how we were trying to strive to be the perfect mom or a perfect mom, but never really quite reaching that space. And maybe that perfection piece is like, what did I say to her? Had I been a perfect mom back then or all the way through or whatever, if I was a perfect mom, I wouldn't have anything to learn. And in turn, I wouldn't have anything to teach my children. And when you are learning something in the state of learning, it can be very frustrating. But once you've kind of mastered that space to the depth that you feel like I'm good, it feels really good. It feels really, really good to feel more accomplished in this space, and it adds to your confidence. So how can you continuously evolve and build and build and create and become more confident if you aren't put into a place with a little bit of struggle, a little bit of challenge, something that makes you change and evolve and reevaluate? That is a real big gift that I have realized today in this unlocking of this space, is that it doesn't have to be hard. We make it hard. Like, I've heard all these things before, but it didn't clue in until this conversation today about practice versus work. And honestly, I don't want to burn myself out or work myself to death to try and create the life or the things that I want to create. But if I look at it as a practice, if I am practicing life, I am constantly building and learning. Ooh, just like doctors and lawyers, they practice law, they practice medicine, they're practitioners because it is an ever evolving space. And you have the opportunity to keep learning and keep evolving. You don't have to just stop at one spot. There's no perfect place to end it. It's just continual. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy or find some joy in this practice of being human and this practice of life. Have a great day.